Guy across the street parks like fucking amazing. At first it's terrifying, but then it's fucking amazing. Okay. You and me both. That's why I park at the fire hydrant. Because fuck the police. Coming straight from the underground. I can't get the reaction. You're sick. Alright, wait. One second. I've never seen you before. Fuck, man. Buzz fucking playing some good ass fucking music today. I cannot control us. We will be victorious. What is this? I should go chalk. Because I'm cool. Fuck off with the low fuel, god damn it. Maybe the guy across the street is the right idea. Maybe we should start siphoning people's fucking gas. Oh, no, I'm gonna get copyright.
I feel a little bit premature.
Yes! Yes!
Today.
I love him.
Psychic, a diabetic mocha-colored psychic from his mother's basement. I feel like all good psychics do readings out of their mother's basement. Unless they're orphans, David, yes. But then they do them from the orphanage basement. So,
this guy's fucking hilarious, though.
Absolute fire, David, like an orphanage. All right, well, one of our regulars who's never called, and I do challenge her to call. Her name's Marissa. She's in Montreal. She sends us this at our text board, 71010.
They're so subtle and so
You
good.
can send us one at 71010, but I prefer if you called. The number 1-855.
I don't want to. I'm too scared.
Marissa says, please ask Tony what would unfold in my future. If I embark upon a time machine traveling at the speed of light, should I encounter a wormhole on the way, which would fold the fabric of time, if my past and my future would simultaneously both fold and unfold, therefore turning out the exact same, if in that way they both annihilate one another, leaving nothing for you to predict? What is the answer to that question? No. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Great.
Whoop, there it is.
Marissa, if you need a shorter answer to that, please call the show. 1-855-633. So we get the predictions for next week. Is spring approaching? You predicted spring may approach. So the question for that, David, if you look at the premonition history, I actually answered that next year. Next year around this time, we will find out whether spring is going to happen.
I think that was a live video. It's live for later. I was like, wait, what?
Absolutely. Tony, what else is going on?
That kind of defeat the whole
oxymoron. I always get onto it on a Friday morning and leave it till Friday afternoon. Things are going well here. We've had a number of callers today, which has been good. I probably need some counselling after Edna, but apart from that, we're doing okay. Or therapy, as you like to call it over there in the States. Therapy. That is what we call it. Question for you. How's the Queen doing? Very well, David. Very, very well. She's taken up squash, or as you guys like to call it, racquetball. Oh, I think we just call it squash. Is she 95 as well? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she was Tony Bennett's ex-girlfriend. Wow, Tony Bennett and the Queen are making babies.
Oh.
Fantastic news, fantastic news. She cleared COVID. Was the country worried about her? It was very difficult to infect lizard blood. It is. Somehow it jumped past the human and lizard person boundary, but it was an easy illness for a lizard, so she made it out okay. Exactly, and hence why she's known as Elizabeth. Oh, wow. See, the facts are there. Just funny. Look underneath the surface. The facts are there. Now, if you want Tony to tell you any facts about your life, call us. He's a psychic. Our number is 1-855-633-1010. That's 1-855-633-1010. Any predictions for Canada as a country, Tony? Yes, I did purchase a Groupon on global politics because of what's happening in the world. And yeah, I believe Canada will be split into separate states next year. Separate states, separate from the provinces? Well, separate from each other, yeah. So it's going to be French-speaking, German-speaking, and one, I believe, is Klingon-speaking. The 4 national languages of Canada. How is your Klingon, by the way? Fantastic, David. We're going to get Toda next week to do an awful impression of Worf, or as he likes to call it, Bork.
Only because I've been watching the fucking...
I would do after a lot of dairy.
Version of
today.
Fucking
Tony,
spin-off of
I've got something for you.
Fun.
The best I could come up with. I like to sing. Dance. You're shaking your head at me. Look, we have 2 minutes left. We're not getting calls. What do you expect me to do? I actually believe that child grew up to be Tony Bennett. That was the plot twist for this Premonition Friday. The Kazoo Kid is in fact Tony Bennett. It was the musical prodigy that he started off with playing the kazoo and ended up being an old-fashioned crooner. Old-fashioned crooner. Tony, it's always a pleasure to have you. This is probably my favorite time of the week, I gotta say, on the show, because it kind of just caps off the Friday. We get a little more show left,
It's
couple
not
hours, but
Thursday.
it's just a wonderful,
See, they're doing
way
a
in the week.
fucking
It always puts me in a
rerun.
good mood, especially when you tell people that cats are scared of water. Sorry, cats are not scared of water. Correct, David. Correct yourself there, David. Brilliant. So yeah, I believe it's a nice way to end the week as well. I hope our one caller feels good. Again, there are people that have got no sense of timing and try to call within the last minute of the show. All right, we're gonna have maybe 15 seconds for this next caller. Who is Mel in Barrie. Mel, we got a break coming up, so you got about 10 or 15 seconds. What do you want to ask Tony, our psychic?
Zoo. Tony,
Sorry.
what's up with the zoo?
Sorry, Mel, you were cut off there. Ask Tony one more time.
Anything that will stop that kazoo.
Well, you
Fuck
can stop
you!
it. So you predicted your
These
own
are
future.
awesome.
Yeah, you predicted your own future. It's very similar to the theme of Inception. Yeah, Mel, you incepted yourself. Thank you, Mel. Appreciate it.
All right, please.
Bye-bye. Mel and Barrie,
Goodbye.
one of the greats. One of the greats. Award-winning content there, David. Tony, thanks for being here. It was a great pleasure. Looking forward to having you here on Sunday night. Always a pleasure. Never so serious next week, David. Come on. I'm David Cooper. This is the Showgram.
It's hard to improve on a good old Montreal bagel, but La Vie Belle has done it with their delicious new bagel bun and their eco-responsible bagels. Give them a try. Right now, from Tuesday to Thursday, get a dozen plain, sesame, poppy, or everything bagels for only $8.88. Just use the promo code AM800. They also have bagel burgers, sandwiches, healthy salads with vegan options, Danish, and coffee. Order online, in person, or through delivery apps. La Vie Belle in Vaudreuil, Westmount, and lvevresto.ca. How Belle makes spring better.
It's that time of year to stop sharing photos of flurries and start sharing photos of flowers. No more posting parkas, just posting puppies. And with unlimited data plans, there'll be a lot of posts.
Spring into the season with a new phone and an ultimate plan on Canada's best 5G network. And for a limited time, save up to 50% on select phones. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca for details. Bell, springtime just got better.
You're listening to the Voice of Montreal. News, talk radio, CJAD 800, and an iHeart radio station. Good morning, it's 3 o'clock. I'm James Foster with your CTV News update. Some sun, mixed with cloud today, some snow later on, and once it starts, Environment Canada says it's gonna get heavy at
They
times
keep doing this
tomorrow.
too. They're like,
-2
apparently,
downtown. Your weather details and
weather.
moments here, so does NBC News.
National China Weather Report. Apparently this. It's
Prime
like,
Minister
like
Justin
50.
Trudeau says that he had no choice but to deny Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's request to authorize a no-fly zone over Ukraine, saying that there's just too much fear about triggering any type of escalation from Russian forces.
Oh!
The Prime Minister spoke with CTV National News last night and
Okay.
confirmed that Zelensky had reached out directly to implement a no-fly zone over Ukraine during a phone call.
It is something that
Oh my god.
is heartbreaking to be able to have to say that we can do so many things to support, but that the risk of escalation,
Oh,
the risk
God,
of
you're such a
spreading, risk
fucking
of involving
pussy.
NATO in a direct conflict.
God,
If
you
we send
suck.
NATO planes over Ukraine to shoot down Russian planes, means that we can do an awful lot, and we're doing everything we can, but we can't do that.
Now, without that no-fly zone, the relentless bombing of
Traitor.
many Ukrainian cities,
Obviously, a
including
traitor. Obviously, he's a
Mariupol, by
Nazi,
Russian
and
forces
he's
continue,
a fucking Putin
making it
supporter now.
almost impossible for people to escape. We get more from Ian Fennell, who's in Kyiv.
A high-rise building was hit. Even the local fire department in Mariupol was bombed. An attempt to try and evacuate residents failed again when the city was pounded by the Russian military, who only seem to have stepped up their attacks. Firefighters were seen rescuing people from a destroyed building and working to free a seriously injured boy. The shell-shocked residents have been under siege for almost a week. The Red Cross saying people have no power, water, or gas for heating.
More than 1,300 people have died in the siege of Mariupol, where Nighttime temperatures are regularly below the freezing mark, and daytime ones normally hover just above. Ukraine is reporting that military vehicles in a Russian convoy have retreated after a fierce battle, but the Ukrainians are preparing for the event of more attacks in Kyiv. Authorities are now setting up a fortress, they say, that's being protected by armed civilians. The U.S. defense official speaking on condition of anonymity, saying that Russian forces moving towards Kyiv had advanced about 5 kilometers in the last 24 hours, with some elements as close as 15 kilometers from the city. And from your Dormez-vous Weather Center today, a bit of sun, a bit of cloud, a high of +1. It's going to start snowing tonight. We're going to see about 5 centimeters of snow during the overnight hours, and then still no real estimation as to how much we are going to see on Saturday. High of +1, and it looks like it's going to be at least a bit of a storm. What you see, really. Sunday, sunshine and -4. It's -2 downtown. Your next CTV News update is at 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the book just to start off the interview.
Right. So The Volunteers is a book about Halifax women. The title is meant to be a bit of a provocation because most people would not think that women won any war, and not the Second World War. But the argument that I make in the book is that Halifax was, because it was the launching ground for the Battle of the North Atlantic and the entire Canadian war effort, it was completely going underwater when the war started because there were so many people. The population increased by 61%. There was this immense pressure on the city. The federal government was very slow to respond and to provide any kind of respite for the city. And so it was just basically everyday women who stepped up and sort of filled in all of the gaps and there were many gaps, and kept the city afloat. And so I sort of posit in the book that if women had not done that, the war may not have played out the way it did because the Canadian war effort would have been really significantly hampered because the city would have gone underwater.
Really interesting, and I love the premise, and I love that it's slightly provocative. What are some of these major gaps that were filled that we wouldn't normally expect at that time by women?
Right. So what we saw was because the population exploded, and so you can kind of look at that in two ways. There were 500,000 service members who shipped out from Halifax over the course of the war, and that's not even actually counting. It counted in the population surge. So a lot of those service members brought their families with them to Halifax. And there were war workers, there were war administrators, there were people who were still working in the war industry. So, people.
It will never be the same. COVID has changed the game, and we must be prepared to win in the game.
Mayor Adams is releasing a 70-point blueprint to bring New York's economy back.
By having a safe, clean, reliable, non-bureaucratic city.
Included in those plans, the renovation for the market here. Adams is also offering an olive branch to the city's big businesses.
Far too long, we've had a wall between our corporate communities and government. We are going to borrow from Ronald Reagan and tear down that wall.
The mayor had been demanding workers get back to their offices 5 days a week. Now he says the city needs to start planning for a different future. With the mayor at Hunts Point Market in the Bronx, Steve Burns, WCDS News Radio 880.
And speaking of offices and work and the pandemic on Long Island.
Many of the parking lots at the larger office buildings here on Route 110 in Melville are no longer packed because employees have continued to work remotely. And that has affected some of the smaller businesses like coffee shops and delis. Eric Alexander is from Vision, Long Island.
A real job, really.
Work sites are
and isn't that not an opportunity for mass hire? Like, why would you want to hire more employees and expand your business?
It's just literally a consequence of the coronavirus regulations and the pandemic that impacted our economy in so many ways.
Vita Scatoro is with the Huntington Chamber of Commerce.
Because now you have restaurants that people are not going to, so business is going to go down for them again. So So you're really then depending on the night people that come into the village.
Maybe because all the restaurants can't stay open for more than a week without Legault coming and fucking shit up because he doesn't understand how a
Both tell
restaurant
me in
works.
some form remote work is here to stay.
Open shut, open shut, open shut. You fucking English stock that goes bad. Like,
83-year-old Harvey
get
Marcelin
hired,
is
fire
now
your
charged with
employees, and then
second-degree
expect them to
murder
be there
and
when you need to
concealing
hire
a human
them.
corpse because the NYPD is saying a woman's torso they found inside a shopping cart last Thursday at Pennsylvania and Atlantic Avenues in Brooklyn's East New York neighborhood. Yeah, cops say Marcelin left that there. And investigators say surveillance video shows a 69-year-old woman going into Marcelin's apartment on the Sunday before they found her. And a search warrant the day after they found her torso last Thursday turned up the woman's head inside the 83-year-old Marcelin's East New York apartment, along with electric saws. So NYPD investigators are looking now to see if Marcelin is a serial killer, since the 83-year-old has already spent time behind bars for killing 2 other ex-girlfriends. Marcelin, well, he's in jail. Rikers Island, no bail.
Maybe I allow the unions to come in and talk.
One of the, and so he definitely has. His incentive is to hope that gasoline prices skyrocket so he can sell more electric vehicles. Yeah, sure. That not just the electricity prices, but gas. He doesn't want electricity prices to skyrocket. He wants the downside prices to skyrocket. I mean, I know Obama wanted electricity prices to skyrocket, and overall they want electricity prices to skyrocket. And that's just so we stop producing the energy. Boy, that is a liberal circular firing squad, is it not?
Where the fuck are my folks?
About legal action taken to try to reclaim money lost. Which still needs ratification by all players. They've come to terms.
So what is the research process for putting a book like this together? Is it trying to get as many stories of those while those folks are still alive? Is it going back to the archives? What did that process look like?
Yeah, both those things. So I managed to find 5 women who were still living who had volunteered with the help of with Halifax Women's History Society. And then I found the son of
leading cancer killer, but it can be prevented with regular screening. Experts now recommend that you get screened for colorectal cancer starting at age. This year, $20,000 annual increases, a new $50 million bonus pool established for players not yet eligible for arbitration as a way to.
Oh my god, fucking, let's talk about hockey more. I'm a fucking idiot.
Montreal for more than 35 years. He has advised hundreds of clients, written more than 200 articles about personal finance, shared his expertise program.
So the UK Defence Ministry said that they assessed that this could be part of an attempt to get things in order for an attack on Kiev. But it's also possible that they simply have understood that they're not going to be able to move, down the road after all this time, and that they've just dispersed to be less of a target.
Okay, less of a target. The mayor of Kyiv talking about half the city's population having fled. Not so easy to leave other cities, though, and that was partly, the result of the failure of talks in Turkey. That there were negotiations about humanitarian corridors yesterday. What happened?
Well, there's been, successive attempts to build humanitarian corridors to get people out, in particular of Mariupol, the city in the east, which has been under very, very heavy fire.
Okay, I see like the 3 guys that like all sit down and all shake hands, and they're kind of supposed to be having talks for what to do about Russia. However, where the fuck's food? I don't see him being present in the talks.
pretty much every day. All day. She went home. She got a bite to eat. She got
happens every day, and it's difficult for people to handle grief. And actually, we should just preface at the beginning here, what we're talking about here, it's not a sexy topic. No one wants to talk about death. But spoiler alert, everybody that's listening right now, even you and I, George, we're going to die. And I'm going to say it probably a couple of times during our time together. We want to leave a legacy, not a legacy and a mess. And family squabble is just one part of a problem of an estate, and families will fall apart. And there's a couple of things that have to take place for an estate to be settled easily.
Can these things be taken care of properly before someone dies, so there are no hassles?
Absolutely. First off, you should start off with basically a will. Unfortunately, 60% of Americans don't have an estate or a estate plan or a will, and it's more likely that they're going to have a will than a will. So, if you do have a will, the next thing is you need to have the conversation. And the conversations have to start with the executor. That's the person that you're going to choose to make sure the estate is settled properly. And then you also want to have the conversation with your beneficiary. Actually, what reason why families break down, there's three types of families. There's a family that doesn't do absolutely anything. They haven't got a will. They don't talk about things. There's a family that does have a will, but they let the paperwork speak for themselves, and it's a secret. And it's going to be a surprise when the estate is open. And then there's the family that's going to have the communication, and that's not only thinking about this generation, but they're thinking about the next generation coming up. And
well, why would you fucking bother writing a will then if you didn't give it anything?
What's coming down the pike for them? Because you really don't know about somebody until you have to share an inheritance with them. And I found that out in my situation where one sibling, even though my parents had a will, they couldn't abide by, what my parents want. And we were three individuals, and the one thing that my parents didn't do, and it came to the realization when I was writing the book, is that they didn't have that conversation with us, and that's where I ended up with that 7 years, 10 court appearances, $50,000 in legal fees.
What is it about money, David, that keeps people fighting?
Well, when it comes to an estate, the money will change people.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable, and that's where families break up, is that when you're leaving an estate, you see leaving a legacy to an inheritance.
Especially if you're not biologically related to that family, even though you took care of the person while they died.
Money coming to them, something that's owed to them. And that's where we run into a problem where we call the curse of inheritance. A friend of mine starting that phrase. And what it is,
there's some fucking horrible things about my mom. Really, really awful fucking things that are just not true at all.
And it's a good to see their siblings or family members as human beings, and they're only interested about themselves.
Oh, Uncle Greg was already a fucking millionaire.
And if you've gone through this kind of a situation, folks, definitely share your story with us. David, executive help.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's twofold.
She actually did everything.
Someone who's been asked to be an executor.
She had 3 strokes, and the first 2 she kind of knew when she brought him to the doctor, and the doctor said he was just old. Because he fell in the bathroom and he had a nosebleed. He said he hit his nose on the sink.
But you're looking to spend anywhere about 100 hours, anywhere from 18 to 24 months, and since the pandemic, it might take even longer to settle someone's estate. Now, you don't have to take on the job, and that's where a lot of people get caught up.
We're still trying to get rid of this stuff.
Accept the job, but it's people take on the job because this is the one last favor that someone has entrusted with you, and you don't want to let them down. But in the whole realm scheme of things, you are now in a situation where you've got to settle the estate. You've got to pay the right amount of taxes.
This was all the easy part.
You've got to deal with beneficiaries that are going to be unreasonable, and you've got to do all this during your working hours. So you're going to have to take time off from work.
Yeah, my own quitter job.
Get this all done so that you don't put yourself in a liable situation where the beneficiaries, will hold you responsible, or the tax department will hold you responsible.
No, that entire family fucking accused us of, or accused her of waiting until he wasn't right in his mind,
individual who is setting
and
up
then
their
she
estate,
tricked him into
and they want to make sure
signing
that they
everything
put
over to
their
her.
executor in the right frame of mind.
Hadn't
and
seen
they
Greg in
understand
like
what the
fucking 6
responsibilities
years.
are. They're going to make it easier for them.
Also, it's almost
to do the
Christmas where he
job.
gave us a
Not
fucking
only about the
vacation
money,
shirt
there's a lot
Christmas
of
or some shit.
things
I was
that they
like,
have
yeah,
to do.
thanks.
They also have to be
Don't give
concerned
people
about making
vacation
sure that
shirts.
their
It's shit. It's a shit
executor
thing. To be
is,
like, here's a
concerned
gift
about their
from when I
digital
went on
assets,
vacation and you did not.
which are, anything that you ever created, purchased, or done online. For example, if you
Oh my god,
got
magazine
Word documents or
subscriptions.
you've got PDFs or digital documents, you need to make sure that your executor knows where all those passwords are. And digital assets can be your email address, social media accounts, your banking online, anything that's in the cloud and storage.
Oh my god,
you also want to
really?
prepare them with your digital assets. And you want to have that conversation to make sure that they understand what your wishes are. And then you also want to have the conversation with the beneficiaries and your heirs, and you explain it to them. They may not like what you say, but that doesn't matter. It's your estate. So I put in the book also how to prepare your executor and also how to have those conversations.
I mean, you're right. So many people don't know what their parents have, where they have it, or where anybody is. I had a friend of mine who passed away in December of 2018.
Oh,
But
don't
he
worry.
was
The funeral
always
homes make
telling
it
me
pretty
his
fucking
aunt,
streamlined.
who was 94 years
They're
old,
not. They don't have
was
to
going to
take
leave him
figure that. They're just so
$250,000. And we always joked, she's going to outlive you. And you know what? He dies in December of 2018. She dies in February of 2019.
Oh, voice sad.
She outlives him by 2 months. And whoever gets like 250,000 in that family, who knows?
Well, then it would be up to the key.
He didn't have the money directly in his hands.
Right.
I believe he didn't think it was his to even put it into his will. And I'm
Bottom line is that you've got the will, you've got healthcare directives.
eFixMoney.com is still there to help you get the emergency cash you need. If you look at the cash for credit card bills, car repairs, child care, travel, and any other reason, go to eFixMoney.com.
To do right now, really pray for that. I want to pray for that child. Cancer, that thing keeps coming up as well. Tomorrow, at the time
All of them, but typically they pay universities for the opportunity to engage with students. I'm sort of a type. And they got my grandma and started following.
Oh dear. Oh, is it? Oh, it's only 320. That was 420.
You're no longer there, and you're probably seen as the stabilizing presence in the family.
How far does the line go of who has the right to sue you or sue an estate?
FM and the Odyssey app. Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving
65-61. The top seed lives for another day.
They do indeed, John Rook, Learfield.
Keep open communication with the beneficiary.
Un message du gouvernement du Québec. C'est le moment ou jamais.
To cover necessity household items when an injury or illness takes its life off the road. Learn more and donate today at truckersfund.org. That's truckersfund.org.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. Because baseball season
if you have nothing for them to take.
You have an excuse not to start your own spring training.
It's not worth
the game safe before the warmer weather, because it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed
COVID. Enemy founded in Kyiv just after Ukraine's independence in 1991 is a key partner in the push to find new medicines, especially for the developing world. Today its labs are empty. With business at 23 and 53 from the Bloomberg Newsroom, Larry Thompson.
In Fall River, Nova Scotia, that's still going to this day.
What?
So
you founded a music festival?
Yeah. It's weird because, like, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the air, but in 2007, I founded a music festival and performing arts festival in Fall River, Nova Scotia called the Lockstock that still happens.
Cool. And what is the theme of that festival?
Well, it's based all around Lockview High, which is where I went to high school, but it's a short theater festival. Local bands play, bands from Halifax play. Well, we got one band from Halifax to play when I was in the 10th grade. We had a carnival, popcorn, and snacks. It's truly bonkers to me that it's still going. But the thing that might be the most surreal about all of this is I'd say like every 3 or 4 times I'm home, I will see someone with the original T-shirts that we made for that festival, just like at a bar or something.
Cool.
Ben, you've lived quite a life before you arrived at the show. My credentials of life before I arrived at the show was I once drove a friend's golf cart, and that was 15 years ago. So that's all I've done in my life. All I've done. Well, I've got a topic in the bag. You used the word pop for some reason earlier, and I forget what it was. But we have someone who runs a show on CTV called Pop Life. And his name's Richard Krause, and he's our film expert. We had him on the show earlier tonight. You are a film buff. Have you seen any good movies lately, Ben?
Man, have I. There's this really terrific 3-part documentary on Netflix called Genius and it's a documentary about the life of the controversial performing artist Kanye West.
I was hoping you'd say Ray Charles, because that was also Ray Charles's nickname.
Oh yeah, Genius Loves Company. It was like the album that he won the Grammy for. Yeah. No, but this is a movie made by a guy named Cootie who grew up with Kanye, and like they were 20, 21 years old. Kanye was coming up in the Chicago hip hop scene, and his friend was just like, "I'm going to make a documentary about this guy. He seems like a really cool character." And for the first like 4 hours or so of this documentary, it feels very like rags to riches, just a nice story. And then Kanye becomes the Kanye that we know today. And
the TMZ
in that
Kanye.
third part, it's really weird because I've never seen a documentary like this where the subject just completely breaks away from the filmmaker, transforms himself completely, loses himself completely, and becomes this other guy that we haven't seen before. And it's weird because the relationship between the subject and the filmmaker totally changes in that last part. But you have to have sat through 4 hours of rags to riches story to get there.
4
It's
hours?
It's one of my favorite things I've seen this year so far.
Well, I'm among the most famous national late-night radio pop personalities in Canada, Ben. I think there's 2 other shows. There's one other show other than ours, so I'm top 3 for sure. I haven't changed. We're still buddies. I won't turn my back on you, Ben.
I'm so glad to hear that, and nor will I.
Nor
That's
will
producer.
he. He's a non-back turner. Ben, it's always a pleasure having you on the show.
David, thank you.
Ben Harrison, he's our producer. I'm David Cooper. This is The Late Show, Graham.
Hi, this is Caroline of
They
Baltimore
fucking
with a
obviously
message all about the gift of time, because we know that
Oh,
your time is
I'll
precious. And as
start
the good
code on
times
this
roll
segment
in,
and doing
you can
segments.
count on Baltimore to deliver quality fresh meals
kept
to your
pulling them
door
or muting
every
them.
week, giving you time to do the important things, time to spend with your family, time to do what you love, time to take a break.
Everyone should message
Time to be
this
a better
Ben
you.
person
Get back
who
to
is the
doing what you
producer
love
at
and let Baltimore take care of
like
dinner. Isn't it about time? BONCBON.com.
I'm Elias Mackos, and he is François Mackay with Group Mackay. François, thanks for taking
Oh,
the time.
perfect.
What's
Group
the number one
Mackay.
thing sellers should consider when
Group
selling in
Mackay.
this seller's market?
Sellers should consider hiring a real estate agent that has the most buyers so they can get the highest price.
If you need to sell, get in touch with
I understand
François
why your
Mackay,
fucking group is like
514-637-9755, or visit
65
FrancoisHasTheBuyers.com.
employees, I think I
Join
counted.
in the joy of Purim with Meta Community Center.
The
Receive
fuck
your
do you
holiday
need
meal
that many
basket
fucking
and the
employees,
Shloach
dude?
Manot gift box to your home, or join us at our in-person holiday celebration following COVID-19 guidelines on March 17th. To sign up or to volunteer to help with our Purim services, please visit matacenter.com. That's MADACENTER.com. Wishing you a happy Purim. We are all a
Ow!
family.
This is going to be a delight. Emmy winner John Oliver is back for an all-new season of Chaos on Crave. What are you supposed to do without the internet? Go outside? As the world falls
Some
apart,
people
he'll
think
pick up the
genuinely
pieces
the
to
internet
make
cannot
nonsense
fail,
of it
and
all.
I cannot believe that there are people that are not dumb
HBO's
who
Last Week
think that the
Tonight with John
internet
Oliver.
will always exist, and there will never be there could never possibly a day where the internet just like
Now
is gone.
streaming only on Crave.
That
Subscribe
it's
now
very,
at
very
crave.ca.
possible. Like,
Bond yields are at a 30-year low.
almost inevitable
Learn how alternative
at this point.
investment opportunities can dampen market volatility and provide long-term growth potential. So Gary Simpson partnered with Mandeville Private Client for
Apparently,
insight on
this
how
is
private
a
Canadian
hoodlum
REITs
thing
can
to
provide
do.
meaningful yields that are not
It used to be a
correlated with the
quarter.
stock market. Mandeville Private Client Inc. is a member of the Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of
Apparently only
Canada
kids that
and a
are
member
from-
of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund.
A lakeside home is closer than you think. Presti's newest luxury waterfront project is just minutes from downtown, and our model home is ready for viewing. Royal K Homes along Lac St. Louis and Dorval are unlike any other
Alright.
properties available in Montreal. Nestled in McConnell Woods with waterfront access with your own private lake. Timeless, modern dream homes on the most exquisite properties. Book a visit today at presti.ca.
Hi, I'm Max Pacioretty. Come see for yourselves why I chose Presti to build my home. Visit Presti.ca for more details.
Gentlemen, are we having trouble in the bedroom? It can be hard.
I can't even listen to this fucking commercial. That's how much it pisses me off now. Because any fucking chance that men get so they can talk about their fucking dicks. Like, and let's make puns about our fucking non-functioning genitalia. Thank you. And a girl fucking is like, oh, I have big cramps. I'm like, oh, it's disgusting. I have to be violated annually by a stranger while we make small talk.
But why stop there? Transform your entire home with Cuisine West Island the way you like it. Contemporary, modern, country, urban, kitchens, bathrooms, or built-in furniture. Everything is designed and manufactured right here in Montreal and installed by the professional team at Cuisine West Island.
The problem is I don't have something implanted into my body that could potentially kill me. Great. And I knew that fucking something was right as soon as fucking doctors don't call you back after you fucking didn't show up to an appointment without calling. They don't call you fucking back 2 more times. Like once to be like, hey, what happened to that appointment? And then 2 more times to be like, oh, how about that appointment, by the way? Like, were you trying to sell me a vacuum or anti-aging creams? Like,
Hi, Tom here for ResAV. In the past, people had to travel for business meetings to keep their companies going and growing. Well, not anymore. Let ResAV show you how to set up cost-efficient and easy-to-use automated video conferencing solutions. Whether it's for a big boardroom, a small collab, or office space, ResAV has the expertise to help your company and save you money. For more information and a free evaluation, call us 514-439-3901. We're ResAV. And best of all, we come to you. Apply online right from the comfort of your home.
throw in the cup. So much word before. What's so sad? Oh, that feels like change.
This is David Cooper on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. This is the Late Showgram, and I'm your host, David Cooper. It's time for my favoritely named segment with one of my favorite guys. We come to you live from our snooze room with Breaking Snooze. I have with us to talk about sleep health, a sleep doctor. He's a physician specializing in sleep medicine. His name, Dr. Jeff Dater. Jeff, thanks for being here again.
Oh, it's a great pleasure of mine to come on the show.
Yeah, I mean, with a segment name like that, live from the snooze room, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. That's what draws me to it all the time.
All right, so these Gen Zs and their TikTok. I'm not a fan, but there's an article in the New York Post, of all places, about one TikTok expert who's saying the secret to a good night's sleep is putting a piece of ice between your breasts. I don't have enlarged male breasts. I don't have gynecomastia, but if I did, would this be a good idea, Jeff?
Well, I did read that article, and it did catch me a little surprised, and I thought, where's the source of truth here? TikTok, New England Journal of Medicine, I'm just waffling between those two sources. And, he gives a good explanation. Maybe it affects your vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is known to calm you down. But I'm not convinced. I never recommended to any of my patients over the years to put ice on their cleavage. But,
just hearing you say it sounds funny, yeah, Jeff.
So I would tell people, listen, there's a lot of homegrown remedies from putting soap between your legs for restful sleep, and for now this one with ice and bananas and all sorts of stuff. But I think, if you're struggling and you spend one night putting some kind of cool compress between your breasts, and the only thing that would, you get cold and it doesn't work for you, great. If it works for you, run with it. We're just so curious that, I wouldn't dismiss anything in this day and age, but there's no scientific proof for it. That's the bottom line.
Well, there is scientific proof for the placebo effect. So if people think this is helping them, it probably is because they think it. And that might be enough. But I do agree with you. We should be skeptical here. Anytime we read an article that ends in, quote, according to TikTok expert, I'm not saying there aren't experts on that platform. I'm just saying your expert might not be an expert. Let's jump to a more serious topic, because this Saturday night into Sunday morning, daylight savings time. We will be leaving the standard time zone. That is the abbreviation for EST if you're in Eastern Time, and switching to Daylight Time, EDT. When people text me, hey, I'll meet you at 7 o'clock EST, when it's in fact EDT, it's my most infuriating, it's a pet peeve, and I'm going to get fired up about it. But we're switching to Daylight Time. I'm not going to rant about this with you. And I've long heard that there's just massive health things with daylight time, that it puts people at risk for that window, and it's not good for our health.
Well, and that is a truism. That is so true. We know that 1 hour of change, and it's not intuitive. It actually catches a lot of people by surprise, but that 1 hour change causes enough sleep deprivation that's equivalent to someone driving drunk.
Wow.
And so there are more car accidents, there are more heart attacks in that morning, there are people who have strokes, depression increases. That 1 hour brings on so many health concerns that people have made petitions to erase that. And various states, provinces, and so on have listened to that, and while there are great benefits to being exposed to more sunlight, and that's the whole purpose of it, it's countered by these health concerns that are real and truly threatening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a morning riser. Well, I guess I'm a very early morning riser because this show's the overnight show. But I prefer my daylight in the evening anyway. So I would be all for just keeping it in the daylight time offset all the time. And I know there's always petitions that get floated, and there's always an effort in the United States and Canada every year to try to get this so that we no longer have these yearly offsets between March and November. There actually are a few states that don't use it anymore. If I'm not correct, Arizona is one of them.
Arizona, I know last year Florida petitioned to have it, and it got overruled in the higher courts. But it was very much looking like in Florida there would be no time change, whatever. And it's very similar to jet lag. We know jet lag is a real phenomenon where you travel across time zones, 3 hours. That is fraught with health concerns. And yet people just consider that to be a normal part of life.
Yeah. Are you for abolishing daylight? Well, I guess forever keeping it as daylight time and abolishing standard time?
Yeah, I am. Just given the plethora, the amount of health risks associated with it, I think would be very interesting not to do it.
Also, because it's not necessary.
What comes out of that? But I am a fan of not having it. Although nobody likes that dark. You wake up in the dark, you go to bed in dark. Nobody likes that. So, there is some merit to being exposed to sun.
Any tips for how people can sort of mitigate these health risks?
Well, I think as you approach that time change, people can start to, a week before, go to bed a bit earlier to try and adjust. And we do the same thing with jet lag. We say if there's going to be a 3 hour time change, try and adjust your sleep a week or 2 weeks before so you can help, ameliorate or lessen the impact of that.
Got it. All right, let's jump on this next topic here. You and I have talked about sleep apnea before. My uncle has it. He's got a crazy mask he sleeps with every night, and it helps him. I'm surprised to hear that it actually can accelerate aging, but there is a silver lining here. In what way does it accelerate aging?
Well, this is a very interesting study because we've always known that sleep apnea causes things like increase in heart attacks, stroke, high blood pressure, depression, and so on. And this study actually says, well, people who have untreated sleep apnea will die sooner. And
coming full and stops breathing.
The way it works is simply putting a stress on the body. The body can only have so much to deal with, and it shortens that lifespan. The real issue here, though, is if it can get treated. If you can use CPAP or any alternative treatment that treats it, you can actually reverse this. And that is good news for people with sleep apnea who don't want to die early. But it is, we see this all the time where people have untreated sleep apnea and they have unplanned health consequences. And it's not just necessarily dying. They could be compromised in their life. They could have a heart attack or a stroke that leaves them in a position where life is no longer worth living as much.
Yeah, well, I guess the silver lining here is if you have sleep apnea and you get it treated, this treatment could reverse the aging process. So you recommend anyone who thinks they might have it or been kicking the can down the road and not seeking treatment to go seek that treatment?
I've been recommending that my whole professional career, and yet it is probably the one piece of advice that never gets heard. I tell people, get treated. I can pick people out on the street. I can pick people out in conversation who have untreated sleep apnea and say, listen, do this, get treatment, and people never, it's the most, people procrastinate against this. Why? It involves getting a sleep study. And then if you get the news you have sleep apnea, you have to wear this contraption on your face, which is not that onerous, but I mean, it sounds bad. And so people are immediately averse from wanting to do it, but it's quite good once you get used to it. And of course, we'll talk about one of the other articles I came across with dental appliances, which are a treatment for it. So, I mean, treatment is very simple. And when someone gets used to it,
it's a really long segment.
I'm curious. You say you can spot people with it in conversation. You can pick people out of a lineup who has sleep apnea. How can you tell?
Well, there are two.
Shush. All the beats, I know. I really hope. Yeah, low fuel. I'm always low fuel. I'm always low battery, dead battery, always low on everything. Later. Oh my god, my car is like the fucking pit of despair. I just don't understand. There's so many holes in this car that I just can't. Like my hand in front of it. All the mystery things in the depths of my car. Why else would I fucking pay rent at an apartment? Unless I wanted to literally live in my car. But really. That's how I bought one.
Minimize your interest rate and get you out of debt. No matter how much you love, you don't need
Okay, so news apparently doesn't exist anymore. That's crazy.
4991. That's 1-800-280-4991. Mark and Tony trying to get you back to it at free life. Call 1-800-280-4991. You can call today. Toll free at 1-800-280-4991. Ontario license number 470-578. Have you ever encountered sex pressure? This is Vincent Federally of Keenan Federally PR. At Keenan Federally, our team will help you with freedom to make decisions without pressure factors. You will only encounter helpful staff, true associates with the needs of your family, staff that has been part of our family for many years. Keenan Federally, recipient of the Consumer Choice Award for 2021 and 2022. For information, 514-481-5304 or visit KeenanFederally.com. It's the wealthy, that's a different way. Seriously, private and private money are served and providing
I don't want to go gas in the chug a lug in the car.
Association invites you to learn more. Visit hugopractic.com for more information about the practice. You can find tips and guides for daily activities and where you can find a chiropractor closer to you. Be on the arm to prevent injuries. Live your life to the fullest. Pain changes everything. Chiropractic care changes pain. Hey there, it's Simon Glickman, the one of that classic. And I'm asking you to keep doing what you've been doing. Call me first. Call to sell a cargo and not use packages in machine and days at 99% capacity. Charles had a bottle in your house, good as you mark at a home and vegan food, and we sold them both for a week and above capacity. So call me first and sell your property or to get into the home of your dreams. Simon Glickman, Rubber Hash Classic, 450-637-41.